I'm trying out a new angle for my videos. I got tired of holding my iPad. So, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind lately, which is my living situation. I'm renting a room in a private house. I've been living here for 2 years, and my landlord is an 80-year-old lady who lives on the first floor. Let me make that clear. So we don't see each other a lot because I really stay in my room a lot, and I'm forced because of the layout of the house. I'm forced to walk by the living room where she usually is, so we just don't see each other a lot. So that's like the context. But yesterday when I went to pay the rent, she brought up an issue that she keeps bringing up, which is not my fault. That and the issue is the electricity usage in the house. She blames me for using a lot of electricity, which I don't. That's not my problem. I don't pay the utilities here. The only utilities I pay are the internet, which she uses. So, but yeah, I feel like I'm being scapegoated for something I didn't do. But when I saw her yesterday, she was really upset with me, in a way that really upset me. If I didn't say it already, because this is my second time trying to record this video, my landlord, like I probably said, she's an 80-year-old lady. So, yeah, but anyway, like I'm just upset now thinking about it. She went off on how the hallway is a mess and how the hot plate in the kitchen, because I don't have a proper kitchen. It's just a hot plate and a microwave. Basically how the common areas on the second floor outside of my room are messy. And she pointed out things in the kitchen that my roommate across the hall did. But she's like shouting at me, like she's not talking to me calmly like how I'm talking to you. She's like shouting at me, and she just went off. Like she's talking about how I live my life. Like she's talking about how I'm just always in my room, and like how she never sees me, and just the electricity, like I said, and like she just made it. She was just clearly in a bad mood, and like she took it out on me, and I made sure to tell her that. I was like, I don't appreciate how you're talking to me right now, and she's like, well, this is just how I talk, and I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, up until I would say this year, she's been really nice to me. I mean, for the most part, like we had some small issues, like one issue when I moved in 2 years ago, but that was resolved right away. It could have been resolved sooner if she told me earlier, but that's her fault. But anyway, the crux of the issue is that I'm living in a private home, and I'm renting a room, and I'm not the only person living here. Like there are like 7 to 9 other people living here, and I mean she blames me for the electricity usage, which is insulting considering the fact that she didn't let Con Edison access the meter to read the meter for like 8 months because she claims that they didn't contact her, or I don't know. I don't know what her reasons are. But the point is that I tried to explain to her that Con Edison gives you an estimated reading, if they can't access the meter to read it. And I mean, I'm not a homeowner. I'm just telling her what I've heard other people who own homes do, what they've told me. But she has this delusion that I'm the person running up the bill. And I mean, I don't have a lot of electronics, and the ones that I do have, they don't take up a lot of power. I have this iPad that I'm using to record this video. I have my phone, I have my laptop, I have my oven, which I don't use a lot and it's not constantly on, and I have a fan. Those are the items that I have. So it's like a little more than a handful of electronics, and I spend a lot of time at home working. I work from home, and I guess that's one reason why she thinks that I'm running up the electricity. But like, I don't know what she expects when she's renting more. What I'm trying to say is that this place is over occupancy. So clearly, I mean, like I said, she's an elderly lady, and she relies on renting out space in her house to generate income. And because she's doing that, there's more people using electricity, and especially the people in the basement, which is illegal. You can't live in a basement under whatever you. Yeah, I don't. Clearly, I don't know landlord tenant laws, but I mean, but my point is that the people in the basement have a lot of electronics, and she's told me, like, she says that they leave the TV on all day long. So she tells me things that make it clear to me where the excess electricity usage is coming from, but then in the same breath, she'll blame me, an individual who doesn't have a lot of electronics that he's using. So it's just really frustrating to me and really hurtful. And I'm really still upset over the interaction that I had with her. I don't appreciate people taking out their issues on me. If they're having a hard time, they need to deal with it on their own. I mean, of course, if I can help, I will, to an extent. Obviously, I mean, I'm already paying rent. I mean, it's not like she's letting me live here for free and I'm doing her favors. Like, I have a right to be here if I'm paying rent. And just yesterday, when I paid the rent for this month of January 2019, she tells me that in a month from now she's gonna increase the rent by $100, which is worrisome because obviously, yeah, I don't want to have to pay $100 more in rent, especially if I have to live with a landlord that acts in an aggressive way towards me and who blames me for things that I didn't do. Some of the other things that she blamed me for that were my roommate's fault were a messy bathroom. The bathtub looks like an animal showered in it. There's like dirt in the tub. The tub was like a forest floor. It's just disgusting. The toilet seat has like urine on it. That's not for me because I clean up after myself. I'm not perfect, but I do clean up after myself. But I'm bringing up now all the things that she brought up to me when I talked to her, and she has a habit of talking to me literally as I'm leaving. So it's like always at the worst time. Like, she can't talk to me when I'm here. I'm here a lot. Like, she could talk to me any other time, but she always talks to me as I'm leaving, which adds an extra layer of frustration for me. So like I said, I'm having a really rough time emotionally right now. I'm very frustrated, and I'm having flashbacks to my previous living situation in 2016, where I was living with an extremely abusive family member who was just very controlling, very narcissistic. If you know anything about narcissistic personality disorder and or borderline personality disorder, she was acting in that way, where she would act in an arrogant, abusive way, where she would try to generate an emotional reaction out of me by saying hurtful things or things that triggered me, and then when I generated the emotional reaction that she wanted, which was anger, then she would be like, "Oh, look, you're an angry person. I don't know why you're getting so angry, even though I'm calling you fat, or I'm calling your girlfriend a slut," or all the things that this family member in 2016 said to me. By the way, I'm not making up examples. These are things that happened to me. So I don't want to get too off topic. I'm just bringing it up because I'm having emotional flashbacks to that traumatic time in 2016 that ended in me having to call the police twice on this family member, who was female, by the way. I don't know why people can't wrap their heads around the fact that women can be perpetrators of domestic violence. I was assaulted twice by this person who, I can't hit a woman. I mean, I was raised to not lay a hand on a woman in an abusive way. I've never done that, but it was very tempting. I mean, but anyway, so I had to call the police twice in 2016, and I'm just kind of reminiscing on this because I'm being reminded of living in a house with someone who's just blaming me for things that I haven't done. I'm just looking at how long I've been talking. I don't want to make these videos too long, but so the basic summary of this, if you've even watched this far, is that I'm renting a room in a private house that's over occupied. There's like 7 to 9 people here, and I'm being blamed by the owner of the house for excess electricity usage, even though there's like 3 people living in the basement of the house that have a lot of electronics that they constantly run. Because I'm such a nice, approachable, relatively well-spoken person who spends her time at home, I run into the owner of the house, and she complains to me. So, and because I don't have good boundaries with people, because I was raised by a narcissistic, borderline individual that's undiagnosed, I have issues with boundaries with people and protecting myself, and I'm just learning how to do it as a 30-year-old. I'm just learning that boundaries are important. I'm learning how to say no. I'm learning how to advocate for myself, and I'm learning that these issues are all too freaking common. Like, the more I talk to people about the issues that I've talked about in this video, it's like a silent epidemic. In that it's just happening so much. So many people have issues with toxic family members or toxic landlords or just anyone that they're in close proximity with that acts in an aggressive, scapegoating way towards them. So that's just what I wanted to get off my chest. Thank you for watching this video.